On FaceTime with her mom, she said, "Relax, I'm just having fun. I would never actually marry a mechanic." She forgot I was in the back of the room. I stayed silent, gathered my tools, and left. The next day, her mother called me, asking why I wouldn't be at Sunday dinner anymore. My girlfriend, Jessica, and her mother, Linda, were openly mocking me, a successful custom motorcycle mechanic, on FaceTime, calling me a mechanic and a charity project. I heard the whole thing. Instead of confronting them, I quietly pulled away. When Linda called me to schedule the next Sunday dinner, I delivered a perfect, polite rejection, letting them know the game was over without ever revealing what I knew. She flashed a smile in front of others, made plans, said she was happy, but what I heard that Sunday made it clear who she really was. And when the masks fell, she was the one left begging for what she never valued. I'm 33 years old and own a shop specializing in restoring custom motorcycles. We focus on vintage Harley-Davidsons and a few European rarities, usually for collectors and enthusiasts. It's not a business that makes a ton of money, but the income is stable. And most importantly, I love what I do. Think 70s Triumphs or 50s Panheads. It's not your typical loud, dirty shop. It's something quite different. I've been dating Jessica, 29, for about 15 months. I met her at a coffee shop. The connection was immediate. When I told her about my job, she seemed interested, asked several questions about the restoration process, and even stopped by the shop a few times to see the projects up close. Her family was another story. They're upper middle class, both parents are accountants, and very focused on career, status, and that traditional concept of success. Her mother, Linda, from day one, was polite but cold. She always asked questions about my business plan, whether I intended to expand or diversify. She never outright rude, but you could tell she wasn't thrilled about the relationship. After about 6 months, it became routine for us to go to their Sunday dinners. Linda would prepare super elaborate meals. Her father, Tom, would always strike up conversations about investments. I actually enjoyed it, despite Linda's subtle disapproval. Good food, interesting chat with Tom, and Jessica was visibly happy to see me there with her family. Last Sunday started normally. We arrived around 2 p.m. Linda prepared her usual feast. After lunch, we were all relaxing, chatting. Around 4 p.m., Jessica gets a FaceTime call from Sarah, a college friend who moved to Portland. "Oh my God, Sarah, it's been so long. How's the new job?" Jessica went to the living room sofa to take the call, while Tom and I started gathering the plates. I could still hear their conversation, laughing about old stories and reminiscing about mutual friends. "Mom, come here. Sarah wants to say hi to you too." Linda went to the living room. I finished putting away the dishes and headed toward the hallway to grab my jacket from the closet. That's when I overheard the conversation. Sarah must have asked about me because Jessica's tone changed, but not enough for me not to hear her. "Oh, him? He's a sweetheart. But don't worry, Mom, it's just for fun. I would never actually marry a mechanic." "Oh, thank goodness. I was starting to worry you were taking this seriously. Seriously, can you imagine bringing one of those chatty repairmen to my company's events? Like, he's okay for now, but I'm not stupid." I was standing in the hallway, right behind the living room entrance. Jessica was sitting on the sofa with my back to her. Linda was in an armchair on the side, also unable to see me. The phone was propped up on the coffee table, showing Sarah's image on the screen. In that moment, my mind just went silent. I didn't feel rage. It was a strange kind of clarity, as if everything clicked into place all at once. I went back to the kitchen, told Tom I had to leave early due to a work commitment, and quietly slipped out the back door. I got into my truck and drove straight home. I spent the rest of Sunday just thinking. It wasn't even hurt. It was like I finally understood what was truly going on. Jessica had been playing house with me for over a year while planning to replace me. All those family dinners, meeting her friends, talking about trips together, all part of the show. I was just a pastime. Monday morning, I arrived early at the shop to work on the engine of a '72 Sportster. Nothing better than keeping your hands busy while your head processes. Around 10 a.m., Jessica texted me. "Hi, sweetie. You left early yesterday. Everything okay?" "Everything's fine, yeah. Want to grab dinner tonight?" "Can't. I'm working late on the Sportster. This restoration is going to keep me busy for a while." She didn't insist. She was probably relieved to have some time away from her charity project. On Tuesday night, she called me. "Mike, what's going on? You've been different since Sunday, just focused on work. Are we okay?" "We are, Jessica. I'm just busy." "When can I see you?" "I'll let you know when I finish this project." She hung up confused, but I wasn't ready to talk yet. I had practical things to take care of first. On Wednesday, I started quietly moving my things out of Jessica's apartment. Some basic tools I kept there for emergencies, a set of sockets, a multimeter, jumper cables, little things I brought over 15 months of helping with car issues and moving furniture. On Thursday, I updated my emergency contacts at the bank and with my insurance. I had put Jessica's name on them a few months ago, mentioning I didn't have family nearby. At the time, it seemed like a practical decision. On Friday morning, Linda called me. First time she had ever called me directly. "Mike, dear, Jessica mentioned you two had some kind of disagreement. What happened?" Curious. Jessica told her we fought, but didn't mention the reason. "No fight, Linda. Everything's fine." "That's good. We missed you at Sunday dinner. You're coming this weekend, right?" "Actually, I'm going to be tied up with work indefinitely." "What? Why? Did we do something wrong?" "No, nothing wrong."
"I just realized that Sunday dinners no longer fit my routine." "That was kind of sudden. Are you sure everything is okay?" "Everything is fine. Take care." I hung up before she could ask more questions. On Friday afternoon, Jessica showed up at the shop while I was reassembling the Sportster engine. "Mike, we need to talk." "About what?" "About whatever is going on with you. My mom said you're not going to dinners anymore. Are you breaking up with me?" "I've just been thinking about what we really want in the long run." "What do you mean?" I wiped my hands and looked at her. She was wearing her polished work clothes, looking irritated, as if I was messing up her schedule. "I mean, whether we are truly compatible for something long-term." "Of course we are. We've been together for over a year." "Have we been together, or were you just keeping me around as something temporary?" Her face completely changed. "Mike, I don't know what you're thinking." "I know exactly what I'm thinking, Jessica. I heard what you said to your mother on Sunday." She turned pale. "That wasn't... I didn't mean it the way it sounded." "And how did you mean it then?" My mom has been asking about our future, and I was trying to buy time by saying you would never marry a mechanic and calling me a mere grease monkey. You were just managing her expectations. I wasn't thinking straight." "Yes, you were. You were being honest about how you see my profession, about how you see me." "That's not true." "It's absolutely true. And that's fine, Jessica. You can want whatever you want, but I'm not interested in being your temporary distraction." "Mike, please." "It's over. Take care." I went back to working on the engine, and after a while, she left. On Friday afternoon, Jessica showed up at the shop while I was reassembling the Sportster engine. "Mike, we need to talk." "About what?" "About whatever is going on with you. My mom said you're not going to dinners anymore. Are you breaking up with me?" "I've just been thinking about what we really want in the long run." "What do you mean?" I wiped my hands and looked at her. She was wearing her polished work clothes, looking irritated, as if I was messing up her schedule. "I mean, whether we are truly compatible for something long-term." "Of course we are. We've been together for over a year."
Have we been together, or were you just keeping me around as something temporary? Her face completely changed. Mike, I don't know what you're thinking. I know exactly what I'm thinking, Jessica. I heard what you said to your mother on Sunday. She turned pale. That wasn't... I didn't mean it the way it sounded. And how did you mean it then? My mom has been asking about our future, and I was trying to buy time by saying you would never marry a mechanic and calling me a mere grease monkey. You were just managing her expectations. I wasn't thinking straight. Yes, you were. You were being honest about how you see my profession, about how you see me. That's not true. It's absolutely true. And that's fine, Jessica. You can want whatever you want, but I'm not interested in being your temporary distraction. Mike, please. It's over. Take care. I went back to working on the engine, and after a while, she left. On Saturday evening, Jessica showed up at my apartment. Mike, please, just listen to me. I have nothing to listen to. She made a mistake. I was trying to deal with my mom's pressure about marriage. You were honest about what you really feel. No, I wasn't. I love you. You love having someone convenient who solves your problems. That's a different thing. That's not fair. Fair? You spent 15 months planning to trade me in for someone better and got caught saying it out loud. She started crying, but I was already past that point. Go find an accountant, Jessica, someone your mother approves of. I closed the door. 4 days have passed since then. She left notes, flowers, even tried to show up at the shop again. I talked to my employee, Jake, and asked him not to let her pass the reception. Her friends started texting me, saying I was being stubborn and resentful. But this wasn't a momentary slip-up. That was what she really thought about me and my work. She said what she said, assuming I wouldn't hear. I'm not angry. I'm just tired of wasting time on someone who saw me as a temporary placeholder while she looked for something better. Now it's back to building bikes for people who genuinely value what I do. Update 1. A week later. This week has been quite educational. Thanks for the comments and support. It's good to see that most people understand why I don't want to be anyone's plan B while she waits for the right guy to show up. Jessica's damage control campaign was quite predictable. She's telling everyone I misunderstood everything and that I'm overreacting because of a silly misunderstanding. On Monday, her friend Chloe showed up at the shop. Mike, you're being ridiculous. Jessica loves you. Jessica loves convenience. She made a comment to get her mother off her back, and you're going to destroy a good relationship over nonsense? Chloe, she called me a grease monkey and told her mother she'd be ashamed to take me to company events. And her mother agreed. That's not nonsense. She was frustrated and said something stupid. She said what she really thought, assuming I wasn't listening. Chloe tried to guilt-trip me for a few minutes, but soon gave up. On Tuesday, I received an unexpected call. It was Linda again. Mike, I owe you an apology. For what? For my behavior toward you. I had a long talk with Jessica yesterday about everything that happened. I withstood. She tried to put the blame on me, said I was pressuring her to find someone more professional and that she only said that to please me. I told her that was absurd. I never said she should date someone with a more professional job. Linda explained that after our conversation, she started reflecting on her behavior toward me. I realized I was always somewhat distant regarding your work without truly understanding what you did. So I researched motorcycle restoration. A lot of people don't know anything about it. I had no idea about the skill level involved or that these vintage bikes can be worth serious money. I judged based on assumptions. It happens a lot in my field, too. Besides, I realized you were always respectful of our family, even when I was difficult with you. I enjoyed the dinners, Linda.
Tom keeps asking when you're coming back. He really enjoyed talking to you about business and current affairs. Tom's a good guy. Would you consider coming over this Sunday? I promise you Jessica won't be there. I thought about it. The dinners were actually pleasant, minus the tension, which now made a lot more sense. Maybe. I told her I'd think about it. On Wednesday, Jessica took things to another level. She showed up at my apartment with Linda. "Mike, I asked my mom to come so the three of us could talk." Linda looked uncomfortable. I said, "This is between the two of you," but she insisted. "What did you want to say, Linda?" "I just wanted to apologize in case my attitude made Jessica feel like she needed to defend your relationship to me." Jessica jumped in. "See, it was all family pressure and a misunderstanding." I looked at Linda. "Did you ever tell Jessica that she shouldn't date mechanics?" "No." "Did you ever tell her she should find someone more professional?" "No. What I said was that she should be with someone who treated her well and had their life on track, and you clearly fit that description." Jessica's expression changed as her excuse started to crumble. "Linda, when Jessica said on that phone call that she would never marry a mechanic, did you agree because you also feel that way?" Linda looked at her daughter, then back at me. "I agreed because I was surprised she thought that way, not because I shared the opinion. In fact, I was confused by that comment." "Jessica, stop. You said what you said. Own up to it instead of trying to shift the blame onto others." The dynamic was changing right before my eyes. Linda was starting to see her daughter's true colors. "Mike, I'll do anything to fix this," Jessica said, desperate. "You don't have to fix it. You showed me exactly how you feel about me and my work." "But I was wrong." "You weren't wrong, Jessica. You were honest, and I'd rather know the truth than live a lie." They both left. Jessica was crying. Linda was thoughtful. On Thursday, Tom called me directly. "Mike, I don't know all the details of what happened between you and Jessica, but I wanted you to know you are welcome in our home regardless." "Thank you, Tom. I really appreciate that." "Linda told me part of what was said, and honestly, you handled all of it with a lot more class than most men would have. I don't see any reason to make a scene. Are you considering coming to dinner Sunday?" "Maybe." Linda apologized, and she seemed sincere. "Great. I'll be chilling some beers on Friday." Jessica made her most desperate move yet. She showed up at the shop with a ring box. "Mike, I want to marry you." Jake and my other employee were there and stopped everything to watch the scene. "What are you doing, Jessica?" "I'm asking you to marry me. I bought this ring to show you how serious I am." "You bought a ring for yourself?" "I wanted to show you I'm ready to commit." "You want to marry me now because you got caught saying you never would?" "I want to marry you because I love you, and I made a terrible mistake." I looked at her, standing there in my repair shop with a ring she bought herself, trying to undo the only honest thing she had said about me. "Jessica, 2 weeks ago, you told your mother you would never marry a mechanic. Today, you're asking me to marry you. Which version is the real one?" "This one, the one that's here now." "No, the real one is the one who said what she truly thought when she thought I wasn't listening." "Mike, please." "The answer is no, to everything. It's over." She left with the ring, crying. On Saturday, I got back to work on the Porters. Quiet, methodical work, perfect for processing everything that had happened. On Sunday, I decided to accept the invitation and went to dinner at Linda and Tom's house. Final update 1 month later. It's been a month since I heard Jessica's true opinion of me, and the consequences have been more interesting than I expected. I did go to that Sunday dinner at Linda and Tom's house. Jessica wasn't there. Linda had made sure of that beforehand. And to my surprise, it was a very relaxed evening. We talked about normal things, current affairs, Tom's golf group, Linda's book club. That constant weird tension that I actually gotten used to, it just wasn't there anymore. Before I left, Linda pulled me aside. "Mike, I want you to know how much I respect the way you've handled all of this. You would have every right to be angry or act out of revenge. There is no need to be angry, Linda. Jessica showed me who she really is. Most people would have tried to expose her or create some drama. That's just not my style. Tom and I have talked about this a lot. We both think you're a decent man and you deserve to be treated with more respect." This conversation meant a lot to me. Getting that kind of recognition from their parents, even after the relationship with their daughter ended, felt like a validation. In the second week, Jessica made her final attempt to reconcile. She showed up at the shop with what she called a business opportunity. "I want to invest in your shop, help you expand." "Why would you want to do that? Why now?" "Because now I believe in what you do. I understand your work." "Jessica, 3 weeks ago, you called my job a shoeshine hustle. Now you want to invest?" "After we broke up, I Googled motorcycle restoration. I know it takes real skill." "You Googled it after you got caught saying what you really think. I'm trying to fix things. You can't buy respect for my work after spending 15 months pretending you had it." She tried to insist on the investment idea for another 10 minutes until she realized I was genuinely not interested. The most satisfying part has been seeing the shift in the family dynamic. Jessica has been going around telling her family that I'm being stubborn and resentful over an insignificant comment, but Linda and Tom are setting the record straight.
There was a family gathering where Jessica tried to play the victim, but Linda immediately shut her down. Jessica said what she said, and she meant it. Mike has every right to break up with someone who is ashamed of his profession. Tom has been even more direct. He told his golf buddies, "Mike is a true artisan that my daughter never knew how to appreciate." The story has spread through their social circle. Jessica's reputation took a hit, while mine, ironically, improved. Tom has already referred 2 potential clients to me, guys with vintage bikes who heard that I do quality work. Even the investment story backfired on Jessica. When people found out she tried to invest in the shop after the breakup, it sounded calculated and fake, like she was trying to buy her way back into a relationship that she had publicly scorned. Meanwhile, the shop is doing great. I've taken on new restoration projects, including a 1969 Triumph Bonneville that is going to be a work of art. Stable work, fair pay, and clients who truly value the craft. Oh, and I'm dating someone new. I met Sarah at a vintage motorcycle event. She's a nurse, and she has a Honda she restored herself. When I told her what I did, her reaction was to want to visit the shop and learn more about the current projects. No concern about status or professional prestige, just genuine interest in what I do. Last week, Jessica messaged me, "I heard you're dating someone. I hope you're happy." I didn't reply. But yes, I am happy. Happy to be with someone who respects what I do, instead of just tolerating it while looking for something better. My revenge wasn't planned or elaborate. It was simply leaving the life of someone who didn't value me and letting her own words speak for themselves. Jessica wanted a temporary boyfriend, a placeholder, while she looked for someone more suitable. In the end, she lost a solid relationship and also burned herself with her own family. She thought she was having a private conversation about her temporary fling with the mechanic's helper. In reality, she ended up showing who she really is to everyone who truly matters. Linda still texts me occasionally. Tom and I have coffee together sometimes, and we talk business. They have become friends independent of Jessica, which still surprises me. Now Jessica is dealing with the consequences of thinking she was smarter than everyone else. But as it turns out, when you speak ill of someone behind their back, you end up revealing much more about yourself than about the other person. I restore vintage motorcycles for people who value quality and dedication. It has always been this way. It always will be. Jessica's opinion never changed that reality. It only showed that she was never the right person to be a part of my world. Today, I am with someone who understands that, and that makes all the difference. Reddit comment of the day. It's hilarious. She didn't want to marry the mechanic, but now she's practically trying to buy one with a ring and an investment. Looks like the shoeshine hustle went up in market value after it left her catalog, huh?